Hey everyone, Nick Engvall here. Before we get into today's episode, I want to tell you about some of the people that make the sneaker history community and this podcast possible. It's more important than ever to think about who you give your money to when you're buying clothing to go with your kicks. Our friends at Guilty Goods started their brand with a goal of giving back, especially to the communities that make sneaker culture possible. With every purchase from Guilty Goods, at least 10% of the proceeds are donated to organizations like Big Brothers and Big Sisters, the Susan G. Komen Foundation, the Movement for Black Lives, and many more. You can save 30% on your order by using the code HISTORY at guiltygoods.us. Again, that's history at guiltygoods.us for 30% off, and you can feel good about your purchase knowing you're supporting a meaningful cause. Sneakers are all about presentation, and if you're like me, displaying your kicks at home or in the office is just as important as when they're on your feet. Sneaker Throne makes sneaker display cases featuring customizable LED lights, drop-side cases to showcase the entire side of the shoe, not just the heel or the toe, the whole shoe. They've also got display cases for trading card collectors and hat collectors. To me, it's the perfect way to display your collection. You can save at least 10% on your Sneaker Throne order by using the code HISTORY at sneakerthrone.com. That's history at sneakerthrone.com. If you're a Patreon supporter or a member of our Discord community, you already know about Kicks with V hot sauce and his small batch, locally sourced hot sauce. V has been one of the biggest supporters of sneaker history and the podcast since the early days. He's currently the defending champion in our community trivia nights competition. Kicks with V hot sauce has been a huge hit with the community. You can save 10% on your order by using the code SneakerHistory10 at kickswithvhots.com. That's SneakerHistory10 at kickswithvhots.com. Now, you're probably here because you like sneakers, and if you join the Discord, you know our community is about so much more than that. Whether it's the marathon-like community calls, trivia night debates, the in-person meetups, or just sharing our favorite experiences, we found that although we have such different backgrounds, we all have some unexpected shared passions. Not only does the entire community look out for each other when it comes to releases, we're like a support group for life in general. You can join the Discord community for free by heading to the show notes of this episode. After you're done listening to this episode, tell someone you like their kicks today. You never know how far a simple compliment can take you, and we all know how good it feels to have someone show their appreciation. Now let's get into today's episode.
Jordan trying to shake off Starks. Oh, what a move!
James with no regard for human life.
Final seconds. Bryant for the win.
Iverson against Gill. The crowd on its feet. Allen for the win.
Welcome to the Sneaker History Podcast.
What up, what up? Welcome back to the Sneaker History Podcast with my guys Rohit and Robbie from My Starting Five episode. What's good, fellas? How you doing?
Doing well. How are you, Robbie?
Is it just me, or does Jurassic 5 rival the Jackson 5 as the greatest band with 5 in their name?
I'll see your Jurassic 5, and can I raise you a Power Man 5000?
Oh, nice.
I mean, it might...
Is this what it's like when worlds collide?
Maroon
might not
5
be a
popular choice right now, but yeah, Maroon 5 at some point
5.
had to be in that conversation. So,
Oh, how about the British boy band 5?
There
But
you
they
go.
spelled it with a 5 at the initial part of it, and then it was still I, and then the Roman letter V and E.
J5 is on the mic, so the people was live. We're going to have a good episode today.
yes, we are. All right, so we're going to get into athletes that deserve signature shoes, because whether you're like a basketball fan or a football fan or a tennis fan or baseball fan, like there's so many athletes out there, in my opinion, that just deserve some more love and recognition from the footwear brands. So I'm going to toss it to one of you guys to give a quick rundown on how we do this, just in case we've got some new folks tuning in.
I'll go ahead and do it. So usually what happens is we'll get a topic, which we'll share with the general audience, and we go snake style or fantasy football style, where, let's say in a hypothetical, I'll go first, Robbie will go second, Nick will go third, and then on the wraparound, Nick will start the next round off and have the first pick, and we'll cycle back to me, and we'll just complete that for about 5 rounds. And we also like to include a 6-man off the bench, because we do have basketball roots and we're supposed to know our roots. So that's the shameless plug for our old sports show. But am I missing any critical detail, Robbie, before we let the drafting commence?
That was finger looking good, man.
Thank you, Colonel. Thank you.
All right.
So let's just keep that order. I mean,
Yep.
Nick, you got the short end of that stick, but I don't think Rohit's gone first ever, and I've never gone middle.
I'm ready. Let's
Okay.
do it.
Cool. Alrighty. So with the first overall pick, I am going to go with a unconventional pick because that's what I do. That's my brand here. And I'm going to go with something outside of our traditional basketball focus, and I will go with one Christian Pulisic. He is USA's first shot of credibility of being a global superstar that's on par with the likes of a Ronaldo and a Messi eventually. But he's shown a lot in the last couple of years. Last year, he single-handedly caused Chelsea to qualify for the Champions League. This year, he played a pivotal role in securing that Champions League title, the second one for Chelsea. So I'm biased because I am a big Chelsea fan, but I think Pulisic is the one that's going to move the needle, and it's also going to give us a credibility in a sport we've never really had credibility before. So give that man his own cleat and let America join the table, so to speak, when we're talking about global football.
It's a good pick.
I don't know global football. So like you said, Messi and Ronaldo. I'm like, oh, those other two names I know. But what's his name again? Pulisic.
Christian Pulisic.
Yeah, man. I'm not with it. But good pick.
Yeah, and honestly, he's probably 5 years away, but I'm still giddy in the fact that we have an American playing a pivotal part in the biggest championship club football has. So why not give him yet another accolade? Probably low on his list of accolades he's received in the last 2 weeks, but an accolade.
That is definitely a good pick. I'm thinking here, because I had a list. I don't have a ranking, so I'm just going to start off with my fifth, my least favorite, Mr. Mike Bibby. Mike Bibby had the TD, PEs, Team Dime. How many, Nick? Probably like 15 pairs at least.
Oh, at least.
PEs
yeah.
On a Western Conference Finals dwelling team over multiple seasons, perennially in contention, and never got a shoe. I mean, you don't have to be with Nike or even Jordan Brand. You see players, think of like Jimmy Butler or Dwayne Wade, who are with Jordan Brand, and they're like, all right, well, someone else is going to pay me. I'm going to go somewhere else. I'm surprised Mike Bibby never took one of those deals, or never. I bet you he was offered some. Maybe he was just loyal to Jordan and didn't want to mess that up. But Mike Bibby immediately came to mind, especially thinking about Chris Webber having one and everything. So,
yeah, definitely. I mean, that's a good call because I think it has to do with just the timing of it, right? Because Jordan was so heavy into that team Jordan stuff, during that era, the 97 to 2002, 2003, that was like kind of the heart of the Kings run. And also like when Jordan Brand was just like, we have the Air Jordan and we don't give signatures to anybody except for, we'll call this Trunner Roy Jones signature.
Now, I'm just upset Chris Webber couldn't help him with a Dada colorway at the very least. Come on, Chris. Take care of your teammate the way he took care of you in the clutch.
So my first pick is going to be a little near and dear to the heart. I'm going to go with Jerry Rice because, I have a couple of his PE like trainers from back in the day, but never had a signature shoe. Kind of just insane that he didn't have a signature shoe, as I don't even think it's arguable that he's the greatest wide receiver to ever play the game of American football.
No, I mean, by that GOAT standard, he is so far ahead of whoever you think the number 2 wide receiver is that he should automatically always be ushered into those GOAT conversations that tend to be quarterback-centric when it comes to American football.
You would think so.
Great pick.
All right, so my next pick, I'm gonna go back towards football, the other football, the real football, if you will, and I'm gonna say Megan Rapinoe. I just think that she just deserves a signature shoe.
Great pick.
I don't know if that's a on-field shoe, cleated, or just her own, you could do like her own Air Max of some sort. Seems like a no-brainer.
Mm-hmm.
You got the silhouette. Like that's
exactly
half the battle right there.
I'm going to keep it with the ladies. I'm going to say Brittany Griner, because unlike the NBA where big men don't sell shoes, I think a big woman in the WNBA does do a lot more for their game than a modern big in the NBA does. So, I mean, Brittany Griner is going to completely change everything defensively. She's going to dunk on you. She's such a dynamic player. I believe she's sponsored by Adidas. She should have her own signature shoe if they're going to go that route. I think she'd be a fine candidate, because just like the complete opposite of the men's game. Like, if you're just bigger, stronger, more powerful than your opponent, like, you're going to dominate in the paint. Like, just they play more traditional basketball still. Like it's a beautiful thing to actually see somebody get back down and like put a move on, and Brittany keeps that alive. So
good pick.
All right, I'm up next, and I will pick football, but the more American sense, and I'll go with one Patrick Lavon Mahomes. At this point, my life is going to be so intertwined with this gentleman's. It's going to be scary, and anytime I can, I like to pay homage to St. Patrick for bringing us a Super Bowl to Kansas City and just kind of reinventing the game in a way that we've never really seen before from the quarterback position. So I'm happy with that, and I'm happy that I can pair him up with Christian Pulisic. For my next pick, I will also once again kind of compliment Nick, and I will pick Megan Rapinoe's partner in life, and that's Sue Bird. And we know about keeping Sue fresh from the Kyrie perspective, but I think the freshest way you can keep Sue fresh is giving her her own shoe. And I think she's probably been the most influential women's point guard that I can think of from an American viewpoint in the last 10 to 15 years. But I don't know. Like I said, I think we are severely lacking players, and I'm hoping that Sabrina Ionescu can kind of usher in this new era where females are likely to get signature products like their male counterparts, but almost as a Lifetime Achievement Award. I go
very
Sue Bird.
fitting. I love seeing her PE game, though. So it would break my heart, but also
yes,
much due.
But you could totally picture like a shoe that's like right in between like the low Kobe's and the Kyrie's, right? Like there's somewhere in between there, a sweet spot that would just be like, yeah.
So my next person definitely would fill that sweet spot between a low Kobe and a more traditional shoe. One Laker big man, Anthony Davis. They say big man, again, don't sell shoes, but Anthony is such a modern big that he's more Giannis, and he's not Giannis. Giannis is his own beast, but he's more Giannis than Shaq in terms of skill set and build. So you're the face of the Laker franchise along LeBron. I see him in every kind of commercial now that he's been in LA. He's getting all this other shine. I think it makes sense to have him in the Kobe stuff, to be like the heir apparent to Kobe's line. It's worked. I mean, from a medical standpoint, he's been hurt regardless of what shoe he's wearing, so I'm not going to put that on the Kobe's at all. But maybe something with more stability, something a little bigger, but still between the low-profile Kobe and maybe more of a traditional mid for being that kind of flex big man.
Yeah.
So Anthony Davis, I think, is definitely like if Joel Embiid can get one, like bigger market, I would say because Anthony Davis is probably more well known than Joel Embiid. The unibrow thing, it's really good marketing, man. You can do so much.
Yep.
Yeah.
Velcro strap, make it look like his unibrow. And that's like very low hanging fruit. I'm sure somebody far more creative than me can do even better. So I really like that pick, Robbie.
Yeah, I like it too. So I'm going to kind of follow your lead there into the basketball world. I just think Luka is like the obvious next up for a signature shoe. I think you missed the opportunity. He's already shown what he's about in the playoffs. They should have had a shoe for him already. That like it should have just been, hey, we were working on this cool shit. How do we flip it to be a Luka shoe as soon as we possibly can?
How do you shoehorn it in?
Yep, exactly. So I'm up again. I'm gonna go completely off of what people probably would expect as I'm wearing my Giants hat. I'm like the ultimate diehard Giants fan, but one of the players that I love the most in Major League Baseball and have for a long time is Clayton Kershaw of the Dodgers. I would love to see something very just simple, off the field, on the field, kind of two-way street. I just wish baseball got a little bit more love. And he's not the top of the list for baseball, but for me, he would be the top of the list of the active players.
I don't know how many pundits have given their two thoughts of how to fix baseball or how to make baseball more fun. It's just like, from a non-baseball fan, don't make that shit 10 hours. I mean, that's my big thing, and you can't really speed the game up. That's a whole other conversation. Great pick, though. Very, very big of you to choose a Dodger.
Trying.
Very big of you. My next one here, I don't even really love this guy. he's okay as an analyst. I definitely don't dislike him. He's okay in Wendy's commercials. He's just like, he's a vanilla Frosty. He's just like totally just like a little bland, but you still like him. He's available. Great guy. Reggie Miller. Like, he's just always been just like, oh, it's Reggie. Like, I like him at his most, I like him the most when he's talking about his sister beating him in LA. That's like my favorite. Cheryl Miller stories of whipping up on him is my favorite part. But just like, as a 90s, you know, we've been talking a lot about Trae Young recently. Like, obviously, Reggie Miller is the first New York bad guy. But how he didn't have his shoe back in the day, like, blew my mind. Like, that legit, yeah, blew. It was like how he's in Jordans, he's in Nikes. There's a lot of Nikes. What was that one that's retroed last week? Like the Air, it's an up-tempo, but it's a full-length Air Max, wavies. Reggie Miller wore them.
Keep going. I'm going to, while you glance,
yeah,
I'll try to see if I can find it.
A jewel swoosh, kind of wavy, full-length Air Max.
Yeah.
The Nike Lace Air Total Max
Yes,
Up-Tempo.
Total Max Up-Tempo. He wore those in, like, I'm pretty sure he wore those in a Pacer colorway.
Yep.
15s, obviously. Like, he's had the shoes. Just like how he didn't have the Reggie. I would have called it the Reginald. But how that didn't happen. How did Eddie Jones get one, but not Reggie Miller?
Oh, I'll tell you how. Because Eddie Jones never drove MJ to the point of actually choking him the way Michael Jordan, no joke, looked like he wanted to choke the life out of Reggie Miller. And I think that's why we never saw that Reggie Miller colorway at all. Or signature line.
Would have been cool, though.
Yep, I agree.
But there is an inherent uncoolness that he taps into. He was kind of the first basketball troll in a sense because his antics with Spike kind of ushered in that legacy. He's probably the subject of one of the most entertaining 30 for 30s. And the fact that they structured it like an opera was probably a chef's kiss that none of us could even imagine. And yeah, he is a little irritating on the mic, but that's kind of how he's always based his career off of. He's at his best when he's not only shooting a three in your eye, he's letting you know. And it's not the cool trash talk. It's the most corny, cheesy trash talk available. So I think Reggie Miller does deserve a shoe. So kudos there, Robbie.
Just a little bland. He's a good guy. Just a little bland.
Yep. And speaking of bland, I think I've got next, and I will also go for somebody from that era that's on the surface very bland, but he has almost his own wing in the Hall of Fame, and that's one John Stockton. I just think the all-time assists leader, the all-time steals leader was in basketball purgatory in Utah, or maybe he was the basketball purgatory that let Utah down in terms of wanting to be the Hood's favorite team to use in NBA 2K or NBA Live. But his level of achievement does deserve some sort of validation. And granted, I think he could care less if he got a signature line, but he did kind of usher in that last golden generation of point guards that played in a very traditional way of, okay, I'm always going to look for others, and if I can hit the shot every now and then I can, but passing first is always the option.
I'm not a John Stockton fan, so
no. I think you can count on one hand how many people will actively say, yeah, I love John Stockton.
Yeah,
I'm not one of them either. So wait, does it go? That was your last one, Rohit, right?
I have one more, I think.
Okay, my bad.
Yep. And with my last pick, I'm trying to think. Nick, okay, override me on this because this is something that just kind of popped in my head, but I don't have the subject matter expertise that you do. Does Lewis Hamilton have his own signature line?
He does not, but that's a good call.
That's from like 1700. How would he have his own signature shoe, man? Just kidding. That's Alexander Hamilton.
Oh, man, I don't know. He got that Broadway play. So, yeah, I'll go with Lewis Hamilton. He's kind of the Michael Jordan, Jackie Robinson, LeBron James of his sport. And I think he's doing a great job ushering in a diversity for said sport that tends to be a little whitewashed. And, yeah, he can do no wrong in terms of the off-the-track activities. And even when he's on the track, if he's in a losing position, there is something captivating to watch about him. And to me, that's kind of the ultimate seal of approval of an athlete that deserves a signature line. So I'll go Lewis Hamilton with my fifth pick.
What sport is it? I got it's racing is the track, but
yeah,
Formula One.
Okay. Has there
catnip for our Discord channel?
Has there ever been a Formula One driver with a signature shoe?
So Michael Schumacher had like a driving shoe that was his shoe.
That counts. It's your sport, yeah.
But it wasn't. That partnership didn't last very long. I mean, it was 4 or 5 years, but he wore I'll throw a picture up, but it's a Barry Sanders Zoom turf. That was a Schumacher edition. Was kind of like his out of the car shoe originally in like 96, 97. But then I think I think he had a very like maybe like one shoe that he wore 2 years in a row, basically like minor updates, but they didn't actually make it like a signature line. Racing drivers just don't typically get a whole lot of attention, but to Rohit's, point, Lewis Hamilton actually wears a lot of stuff. He's had signature colors of shoes, or PE colors of shoes. He had like a pretty cool, like actual like PE racing boot, earlier, or maybe like 2 years ago now. But yeah, that's a good call. I would love to see more of the Formula One guys, get a signature shoe.
So my favorite player of the modern era, not named Dirk. Well, fuck. Not named Kobe, LeBron. Not named Kobe, LeBron, or Vince Carter is one Dirk Nowitzki, the best thing out of Germany since Schnitzel. How he didn't have, I get, again, big man. I like big men. I like big women. It's like, I like that, back to the basket game. Or Dirk was obviously now pioneered every big man playing much differently than they did before he got in the league. But an MVP, a finals MVP, first time Hall of Famer, first ballot Hall of Famer, perennial all-star. Give him, it sounds weird, but like a hyper D. Instead of hyper dunk, it's called like the hyper D. It's hyper Dirk. So what's funny is for a long time, 3-4 years, Nike was releasing a hyper dunk and then an Air Max for full-length Air Max version of it, a variant of it with like I think 1 year had a strap. They could have easily just made one of those the Dirk, because like throwing full-length Air Max and a strap, it looked different enough than the hyper dunk, but it still was a hyper dunk. Dallas is a huge market. The country of Germany loves him. He's always on the world stage, or was always on the world stage with the Olympics. I would have loved to see Dirk get a big man, especially when he saw Weber, Amari, Duncan, Garnett, everybody else, all his contemporaries get him. But not Dirk.
Yeah, that's a good call. So final pick on me, right?
Yep.
All right. Yep. I gotta go with the only hope the Suns have left now that CP3 is out with COVID. Devin Booker, my last pick. I feel like he'll get one anytime now. Yeah, he wears
Nike,
Kobe's
right?
most of the time.
But
right?
Again, like Anthony Davis, I think you kind of can't put him in one. I would like to see it. He's definitely earned it. He's deserving of it. But like he had Be Legendary written on his shoes by Kobe. Like he has to keep wearing Kobe's. He has to. But it would be much deserved.
It's even weirder now because they're not going to be making Kobe's, right? So like that whole thing, all this is going to be really an interesting thing to revisit like a year or two from now, because
Anthony Davis, Paul Millsap, Booker, they have stacks and stacks and stacks of Kobe.
Isaiah Thomas,
100 pairs.
Oh yeah, yep.
The alternate Grinches. Yeah. That's a shame we'll never see those.
Rohisi, who's your sixth man?
Mm-hmm. The sixth person for me, you know what? I will throw Nicholas and the baseball fans a bone, because I kind of went through a weird YouTube deep dive today, and the only thing I could think of from a signature perspective of this player is the fact that he was a part of the Pizza Hut ball and bat line, where you got a signature slugger and a signature pitcher from that era. And give me Greg Maddux, a.k.a. the John Stockton of the baseball world.
Excellent choice. Who you got, Robbie?
What team did he play for? I know baseball so little.
Cubs
and the Braves.
Yeah, the Cubs and the Braves. Yep.
When they were cursed, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I know that much. Yeah. My last person is the sixth man for the Brooklyn Nets currently, one Blake Griffin.
Ooh.
You're in the LA market, and you're the golden child for the LA market in the basketball sense for years. You jumped over Kias. I don't know how that never
jumped into our hearts with Lob City.
I just don't know how it never materialized, man. The The Jordan Superfly line, he promoted it. It wasn't the Blake Griffin, though. He had a Blake Griffin Jordan 1, but...
I wonder, is that because Chris Paul was also on Jordan and there was a little bit of friction between those two, especially in the latter part of their Clipper years together? But
well, I mean, like, I don't get why Nike didn't give him one before they switched over to Jordan. Like,
yep.
He was so popular. Like, how many redhead dudes do you see jumping over a red Kia with red shoes on? Like, it was such, like, that was the moment. And he was really good. He was a MVP level candidate for 4 seasons after that. There was a good period of time where Blake Griffin was a legit top 20 player in the league. Top 15
He was
player.
a redheaded stepchild that made the redheaded stepchild of the NBA actually worth a damn. And coming from a Lakers fan like Robbie, that is quite the accomplishment that he even considered putting Blake Griffin on this list.
Or the Clippers are just so shitty they couldn't figure out how to get him a signature shoe. 2 ways to look at it. So
yes.
All right, my sixth. Man, I don't like this choice, but I feel like he deserves a signature shoe outside of his Uggs deal, and I'm going to say Tom Brady.
Oh man. Well, I mean, man, pick somebody that technically is. Does he have a signature Ugg?
I don't know if he has a signature. I think he just has like a deal with Uggs.
No, but there's no Tom Brady TB12 method.
Yeah.
Bet you there's a TB Sperry.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if I can't choose Tom Brady, I mean, I'm not a fan of him, but the Joker probably deserves to Robbie's big man conversation, right?
Very fitting. And one of the best logos, he has the J, like the Joker, the Jester hat.
Yep.
Killer logo. But Nike's always had great creative logos for their PE people. So that's nothing new.
Yep.
No, like Shaq says, please put that on a T-shirt because I would be willing to buy it. I love Jokic's game, and I think what better way to represent him than giving him that signature line, like Nick was saying.
Yep.
Ro, did you find a Tom Brady Ugg? I thought you had an excited look on your face for a minute.
I did not find an official one,
that's
so
good.
I mean, Nick, it's up to you. You can pick Joker, or you can pick Tom Brady.
I'm gonna go Tom Brady. I mean, that guy has won way too many titles to not have a footwear brand saying "Wear our shoe, we'll put your name on it."
Well, he wears Under Armour. He's like on the Under Armour umbrella.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I think
that's
it's just one of those
fair though.
things
I
we were
wouldn't
talking-
want an Under Armour shoe from Tom Brady.
That's literally the whitest thing on earth, a Tom Brady Under Armour shoe. Like, fuck.
I'm not even a fan of his. I mean,
but you respect. It's hard to
Yeah.
not respect what 6 championships, however many it is now.
yeah.
6 is crazy, man. Like it's you got to throw him his rice. It's his wedding day every day.
Yeah,
Let him
exactly.
live. That was fun though. So
Sorry, 7 rings for Mr. Brady.
damn, Tommy.
All right, we want to do a quick little recap.
Recap.
Yep, I'll start us off. My first overall pick was Christian Pulisic. My second overall pick was Patrick Mahomes. Third was Sue Bird. Fourth was John Stockton. Fifth was Lewis Hamilton. And Greg Maddux was my wild card coming off the bench.
I just realized I drafted in reverse order, so my least favorite first, which is not a good look if you're trying to take good things. I went Mike Bibby, Brittany Griner, Reggie Miller, Dirk Nowitzki, Blake Griffin, and Anthony Davis, not in that order. I forgot the order already, but those are the people.
All right, I went Jerry Rice, Megan Rapinoe, Luka Doncic, Clayton Kershaw, Devin Booker, and Tom Brady. Let us know your starting 5. Who deserves a signature shoe? We got a pretty decent list. I might throw this list up at the end of this so you can take a look at what we were talking about. But that's the show for today. Follow us all on wherever you need to. But more importantly, have a good weekend. We'll talk to you soon. Peace.
Bye.
Thank you, guys.
Hey everyone, this is Nick again. Before you take off, I wanted to thank you for listening to the Sneaker History Podcast. We just launched our new merch, including tees, stickers, keychains, and a bunch of other pieces you can grab to show your support for the podcast. You can purchase it now through our companion site, sittingtreasure.com. You can also get access to more episodes of the podcast by joining our Discord community at patreon.com/sneakerhistory. Plus, we've got a bunch of other fun things going on in the community, including trivia nights, giveaways, access to sneaker raffles from around the world, release announcements, and just in general, good people helping good people get the sneakers they want. Plus, we're not bought by advertisers, investors, or other big money. I'm confident in saying that we are the best sneaker community for people truly passionate about sneakers. We've also teamed up with a few partners to offer our supporters access to exclusive discounts. You can find some of those in the links in the description for this episode, and even more in our Discord. Give us a try, and if you don't enjoy it, you can always cancel the membership at any time. As always, thank you for rocking with us, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Peace.
Hey everyone, this is Nick again. Before you take off, do us a solid and head over to Apple Podcasts to leave us a review. Give us a rating on Spotify and Amazon Music, and make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel because we have even more video content coming soon. Speaking of new content, we have an amazing community of sneaker enthusiasts that hang out in our Sneaker History Discord on a daily basis. While sneakers is a connection point that brought us all together, we've all discovered countless shared passions that we have in common with each other. We recently launched a couple of new podcasts directly from our community. One of them is a Formula One podcast. If you're an F1 fan like me, the Exhaust Notes podcast is your weekly fix of Formula One fun. It's hosted by myself, Rohit Malhotra, and Todd Yates. New episodes drop every Tuesday. I've been wearing fitted hats for years and collecting my favorite teams since I was a little leaguer. It has been awesome to see so many new fans getting into fitteds in recent years. Crown and Stitch is our new talk show about fitted hats with Dexter, Keith, and myself, where we talk about fitted hats, snapbacks, throw in some obscure hats because we all kind of like some funky stuff once in a while, don't we? Copping, collecting, and so much more. New episodes drop every Wednesday. Hit the links in the show notes for this episode to give our new shows a listen, and be on the lookout for more new podcasts dropping soon. Last but not least, tell someone you like their kicks today. You never know how far a simple compliment can take you, and we all know how good it feels to have someone show their appreciation. Thank you all for the support, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Peace.